Have you ever wished the CDJ-3000 and the A9 would have a baby? You know, the A9 hits the 3000 with the Riz. Will it happen, people? And I'm leaning on the baby. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you the brand new AlphaTheta XDJ-AZ. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is it's an AlphaTheta controller. I don't know what they're doing, okay? I don't know if Pioneer's done or whatever, but lately it's been a lot of AlphaTheta stuff. It is what it is, but this is the true successor to the XZ. The AZ is here. So many upgrades. First impressions, it's huge. It's a big boy. It's about the same size as the XZ, except for it's about 2 inches deeper, like this way. Like it's 2 inches wider this way. Same approximate, about the same width, and approximate about the same height, maybe a little higher. It's got feet and everything, but lots of upgrades. We're gonna get into this. Now, as far as ports, you have a USB-C here for your computer because it does support Rekordbox and Serato DJ, but keep in mind, Serato's coming in December. They just need a month or two. And you also have a LAN port right here if you want to not use Wi-Fi. And moving along right here, you have your super standard XLR outs, your RCA out for masters, and then your dual 1/4-inch booth output. And right to the right of that, for channels 3 and 4, you have RCA ins, they're line and phono combos. So those of you that use the XZ, you'll notice that it's a combo now instead of having its own dedicated RCAs. And then you also have your 2 balanced 1/4-inch XLR combo jacks for mic 1 and mic 2. Very, very legit. And you see it says phono, so of course you have a ground over here in case you do want to hook up a turntable and get weird with this thing. And just like its predecessor, it is powered by an IEC cord. Super clutch there. Now moving on to the headphone section, there's 2 major improvements they did. Number 1, you can see the Sonic Link button. You can pair your XDJ F10TXs right to this thing. You're not going to need the box or anything. So if you happen to have the new AlphaTheta wireless headphones, it'll pair right here, nice and easy, and now you're living in the future. But the big other improvement they actually made is the location. If you own the XZ, you'll notice that where they put them is more far to the left. So it's not right here where it's messing up, you know, your mixing or whatever, your situation over here. It's more to the left, which is a way more convenient space, in my opinion. So if you happen to have these headphones, it's pretty cool. So basically right over here, you have a switch. This is for Bluetooth or Sonic Link. So it's set over here to Sonic Link. You just hold this down to turn her on. Now she's on, and then they will connect. You hit this button down here, and they are connected. Bang. Solid light means connected. Wireless headphones all day, people. We're in the future. Now let's talk about the mixer section. This is essentially an A9 in the middle. You're missing a couple little things, but nothing major. All the big stuff is here. All the big upgrades that the A9 inherited coming from the 900 Nexus 2 is here. The layout, the sound color effects, the layout of it, what effects they are, exactly the same. The knobs, the faders, the real estate, the space in between them, all exactly the same. The X-Pad, exactly the same. The effects, what the effects are, everything, the knob to select them, exactly the same. The channel select over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, crossfader A, B, mic, master, all right here, exactly the same. And quick note though, I love how they made these buttons now, because before it was like a knob like this, and if you're in a pinch, kind of gets a little hairy, you know, if you're last minute trying to select a channel that you forgot to select, you could miss it, and then the effects goes on the wrong channel, and yeah. I like how it's buttons. Buttons are a lot more easier. Your wet dry is right here, your button, all the same. And then it also inherited the Link Q from the A9, which is a super cool feature. So Link Q, essentially, when you click this on, basically how it works is on the screen here, you can listen to a song and scroll through the song in your headphones without loading it to a deck. So you can have both decks playing or one deck playing or whatever, and instead of like loading the next song on a deck just to queue it up and listen to it to make sure you have the right remix or whatever that you just downloaded, you don't have to do that. You can literally just put Link Q on here and then scroll through the screen and hear what the song is before you load it, which saves so much time, especially, you know, if you download a lot of music and, you know, you're just not familiar, you might have mistaken, you thought this was the right remix, but it really wasn't, that sort of thing. That's where that really comes in handy. I love that feature, and they put it built in right here on the AZ. Now, if we move over here to the Platter section, it's very, very familiar for all you CDJ guys or people coming from the XZ. You're gonna love it. Big 8-inch platter, very similar to the CDJ-3000 platter, feels amazing. The screen, just like the CDJ-3000 platter. And it's pretty cool too. You can actually change the info. So you can have the album art that was right there, or you can show what is on the pads here. And it's like in order of the pads. So whatever is on these pads, it shows here. So you have the hot cue here, beat loop, what the beat loops would be, your slip loop, your beat jumps, right? Your beat jump 2, which you can beat jump now up to 64, your gate cue, which is super fun, all that stuff. But basically whatever you select down here is going to be reflected right here, so you can kind of see what you're about to hit and stuff. I think that's super clutch. It makes everything nice and easy because, let's be honest, not everybody remembers all their cues, not everybody remembers exactly what, you know, beat jump is what and all that. Like it makes it easy and more intuitive when you're in a pinch, when you're live mixing and you don't have time to really think about all this stuff. Now beyond what you'd expect, right, the same pads, the same great play and cue buttons, you know, you got your jog feel here so you can adjust the jog feel and everything, all the stuff you're used to, right? That's all here. One big addition they did do with this that they did not have with the XZ is the addition of beat jump and beat loop buttons here. Before, you would have to actually go on the screen to do it, and you were also limited to only 8 bars. Now you can go up to 64 bars and you have a literal button for both, which really helps with loops, which really helps with, like, you know, if you have your phrasing off and you need to beat jump or just in general, like, I think having those buttons there when you're mixing is just so intuitive and so needed. And it was just tough to do before. So now you have them right here, nice and easy. Don't got to worry about none of that stuff. And right above the left platter, you have your mic controls up there, 2 mics, everything you ever needed, right? Just like the XZ, you have the level, the low, the mid, the highs, talk over, all the standard stuff. And then here is where they hide your quantize button in case that happens to be turned on. I hate that thing. Hate that thing. Now, right above the right platter, you have all your master controls, your master volume, and it does have a low, mid, and high master EQ, which is super clutch. The XZ had it as well, and I love it because, you know, depending on the house system and stuff, you can set all these EQs ahead of time, leave them for the rest of the night. You know you're going to sound good because it can get tricky with these EQs depending on how you mix, or maybe you mix with ISO. You know, if you mix with ISO, then, you know, it's not really going to, you're not going to have a master EQ unless you're running through an external mixer for the actual house system. So this is perfect for that. You know, you set this first when you hook into the house system and you listen to it and you do your tests. And then once this is set, you don't have to worry about it and you can just use these EQs for your mixes. Now over here is your booth level, and then you have your 2 USB-B ports for your flash drives if you're going to be mixing with sticks. Just like the XZ, but unlike the XZ, now you can record on either the A or the B. It used to be just number 2 right here. Now you can record on both, which is super clutch. Now let's talk about the screen. Huge upgrade here. It is absolutely enormous. 10.1 inches, pause. 3 inches bigger than the XZ, and you notice it right away. I mean, right here, when you're playing songs, tons of real estate. You have all 4 channels here laid out. You also have the cue pads laid out here exactly in order, right? So the 8 pads, so you know what's on them. So right now it's set to beat jump 2, so you can see like we're on beat jump 2, right? It'll show you the amount of bars it's going to jump. You go to hot cue, you have your hot cues, the labels will be there, all that, which makes it nice and easy. And you definitely notice how big, you know, how much real estate you gained here when it comes to looking for tracks. So if you go here to browse, you can show up to 13 tracks at a time now, and that is up from 8 tracks with the XZ. Now, if you want to make the font bigger, it goes down to 11 tracks, and then the big fat font stays at 11 tracks. So it's 11 to 13, which regardless, no matter, even if you have the big font, even if you can't see like me, it's going to be way more space, way more songs that you could see right here, which makes like browsing and everything nice and easy. Now, the overall layout, you know, the software in it is great. Obviously you have the artist and album and track and key and all the different ways you can like kind of organize stuff and look for things. You have the full search with the keyboard and everything. So if you want to search for a song, you can search for a song easy and find it nice and easy. But one cool upgrade they did is something called playlist banks. So if you click playlist up here, you have up to 4 different banks that you can store any playlist in for easy access. So if you're going to be using these 4 playlists a lot during a certain set, you store them in these banks, and then you're just one button away from finding these playlists and grabbing the songs you need to play. So the workflow with it is just a lot faster and a lot easier, and I'm a big fan. Now let's dive into the mixer settings. That's all controlled right here on the screen. So you have a dedicated button for the mixer settings right here. You click that and it basically opens up the world. everything you need to do. Your mic settings are right here. So your feedback reducer, your beat FX for the mic is right here. Your recording settings are right up here, which allows you to choose which USB to record to. And I said it earlier, the XZ does not allow you to do that. You can only record to the second one. Now you can record to either one. And you also have the track mark feature, which basically, like, while you're recording a live set, if you happen to mess up a mix or something like that, you can track mark it, right? It puts a mark on there. So later on, if you bring your mix into Ableton and you want to fix that mess up, the mark is there so you can see exactly where you messed up or where you can clean up your mixes. Now, right below that, you can control your channel 3 and channel 4 inputs. You have your line and phono, super standard here if you want to do the RCA in the back. Or new addition for this model, upgraded from the XZ, would be the Bluetooth that you can assign to channel 3 and channel 4. Now this replaces the aux. The XZ had a RCA aux that you hook into. This no longer has that. It's just straight Bluetooth to channel 3, channel 4. Makes it nice and easy, works flawlessly. You have your other settings. You could change your EQ to ISO here, your headphone settings, right? If you wanted to do like an attenuator, you know, kind of minus the dBs here. Mono split, super clutch feature. Your channel fader curve, your crossfader curves all here, and then your crossfader assignments are all here on the screen rather than being a manual thing. So everything's kind of located in this one little section, makes it nice and easy. Now to get to the rest of the settings, you click this button and then everything is laid out super standard. Your deck settings, your mixer settings, but you know, I'd rather have it like this. It's, you know, more fun this way, but it also is located here. Then you have your audio output settings, your master attenuator, your peak limiter, your display settings, and then you also have your network settings because of course this hooks into Wi-Fi. And with the built-in Wi-Fi, this thing supports Cloud Direct Play, which allows you to basically stream your Rekordbox library right from the cloud, which is super convenient. And you can also use it for streaming Direct Play, which allows you to stream any track from Beatport, and you can basically live stream your entire set with Beatport's vast library. Quick side note, listen, I know, okay, just Beatport right now. They didn't say anything about any other streaming services. I'm not supposed to say it's coming or going, like you just, I don't know. But if you look at any other controller on earth that didn't come out with the streaming services up front, they came later. So I'm assuming it's just a compatibility thing. It's just something on the back end that they're working on. And eventually this will support all streaming services. But I don't know. They didn't say yay or nay. So at this time, we can't say for sure. But if history tells us anything, don't worry, it's coming. And right below that, you have your Bluetooth settings, and then your just general stuff, your language, and if you want to, you know, restore defaults, that sort of thing. But everything's right there, nice and easy, all on this huge 10.1-inch screen. I love the upgrade. I think it's fantastic, and you know, a lot of fun to use. Really a lot of fun to use. Now, if you want to get your hands on this bad boy, it will be available at the end of October to ship for the price of $31.99. And let me know in the comments, are you going to buy it? Are you into this thing? Are you excited about it? I personally think it's a long time coming. It's not my style of controller. I use turntables and an S11. You know, I'm more on that side of things rather than sticks and CDJs. But man, if you're looking for something that literally is CDJ 3000s with an A9, like if you're looking for something to have at home or to use out that is going to be exactly like that setup. So if you do a lot of clubs and you're on that club standard setup, you know, you're playing on a lot of A9s, you're playing on a lot of the CDJ 3000s, this is it. It's literally the same. It's exactly the same. You're going to be comfy, cozy. It is amazing. It's a long time coming, and I'm glad they came out with it. So shouts to Pioneer. I mean AlphaTheta. I mean whatever. Shouts to them. Great piece of gear here, people.